Hello, this is this is Aston, and Jillian is here, but she's having some technical difficulties, so she'll join shortly. And today we're going to have a guest. So before we get into our guests, just want to say to you that when I created New Species, some of the fundamental values that it had to have, one is that it had to be completely natural, and we can always talk about that. It has to be organic or well crafted. We can also talk about that. It has to be able to rebuild genes, rebuild DNA, rebuild the immune system, because this is where all disease conditions begin. And I must say to you that we have successfully done that. And we want to be able to help a whole lot more people. So today we're going to talk to you. We're first going to do our guests. Hopefully she's safe for the whole show. She has a lot to say, and I'm particularly excited to have her here because I've known her for many years, and we have helped her with a lot of things. I'm not going to give you any cues. So, Jillian is smiling. Are you here?
I'm here. I'm here. Hi, everyone. Good
Okay.
morning. Thanks for being with us. Sorry for the confusion. If you got the original email and app notification, we had a technical difficulty with that live, and we had to create a new one. So there was a new link. So we're glad that you made it here. And I just sent out a text message as well. So if you get multiple notifications, I'm sorry, but hopefully we'll get everybody back into the show. Thank you, Aston, for opening on my behalf. But I will say to those of you who are new to NuSpecies, we are a natural health company and an integrative health consulting practice. We make, Aston invented actually, our herbal formulas and plant based supplements to be powerful, to help your body be as resilient as possible against some of the toughest of health challenges. And we work with our clients every day to guide them along their own unique health journey. And what that means is that what a good health choice for you may not be a good health choice for someone else. So we host this Q&A every Saturday at 10 a.m. to continue to get you the answers to your questions that will help you along your own health journey. So thank you so much for being here today. I'll say hi to Trevor and Headley. Hi, Diana. Hi, Darnett. Thank you. Those of you, if you don't have questions or comments today, it's totally fine, but we always love a greeting if you don't mind, or cheering us along the way. And I will say that today, our guest, as many of you have seen, if any of you remember, in our Elmont store, that was many years ago when we were by the PC Richards down the block, and we had a poster on the wall with testimonials. And every one of you who'd come in and sit in that waiting room, you'd stare at it and you'd look at this one picture and go, "Is that you?" And then you'd say, "Or your sister?" And I'd say, "Yes, that's my sister." And so Olivia has been with NuSpecies since day one, and we're happy to have her here on the show with us today. So I'm going to just say welcome to Olivia. We're not going to start putting her on the spot just yet, but I just want to say hi to her, and we'll be sharing a mic, so she'll she'll just smile like that until I give her my mic.
And whatever she says, feel free to, post questions to her.
Right.
We can always read them back to her, okay?
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling she has a lot to say today. So
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, you could say.
Hi, NuSpecies family. Hello.
So if you received a package from NuSpecies in the last 2 months, Olivia has packed it. So if you have any complaints about that, feel free to log them here on the show.
So Olivia, you keep leaving NuSpecies and coming back.
Yeah,
I think you've come and left at least 3 times, right?
it's true. I was following what I thought was my dreams, and I think NuSpecies is where I just need to be.
Okay, well,
I do keep coming back.
we're happy to have you, and I am particularly happy to have you. So, just to give you a little intro of Lev, I used to, when I drive downstate for several years, right? Liv would come with me to help me out, to help you all. She would sit up front and help a lot of you to get your products, your formulas. So some of you must remember her, and if you do, of course you should say hi. But she's been with us for quite some time, and she has a lot to say. and maybe not just about health. Maybe it could be even your perspectives, a new species. Now that you've been here 3 times or so, and then you left when you come back, maybe you can give us all some perspective why you come back this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love to share my thoughts.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do we have announcements, right?
Yes. So Elmont will be closed on Monday and Tuesday. Ashley's taking a couple of days off. So we will make sure she gets some great relaxation. She hates taking off because she hates that her door is locked to any of you who go to her store. So we really do try to encourage her to take that time off and relax. So she'll be off on Monday and Tuesday. But the current discount, which I can get into, is going on through Sunday, September 28th. So you have plenty of time to get the discount regardless of
A whole week,
those closure days.
more than a week.
Yeah. So the discount going on right now is 15% off of all full price products. The reason I have to say that is because we already have slightly better discounts on some other products for varying reasons. The rebuilding formulas have maintained an amazing discount for a while. And we have some items on clearance just because sometimes I mess up and make too much and we want to sell it out. So you'll see that the bee pollen and black cohosh are on sale. If you're on our email list, I've been putting little tidbits about what makes those two formulas so great and why you might want to take advantage of 30% off those items. Otherwise,
Mhm.
everything else that doesn't already have a discount is 15% off. And the code is right here on the screen, Fall Health 15.
Mhm.
If you go to the website, it will remind you of the code as well.
So those of you who would go to Elmont, you can feel free to pre-order. You can, buy in advance and pick it up Wednesday or Friday next week.
Yep, you could do that on your own on the website. So if you just go to the website and go through the normal checkout process, you'll see when you get to your shipping options, you can choose to pick up instead and just choose Elmont as your pickup location. So if you're afraid you're going to forget to order or you're going to get left behind here, just go online today, place your order for pickup, and then you can just show up next week whenever you're ready, or even once the discount's over. Once you've placed the order and secured your discount, there's no real rush to go pick it up.
And those of you who are on your protocols and you want to make sure you don't run out or products get sold out or formulas get sold out, try to get in early and stock up. Okay. So you don't have to wait a week or two for us to get restocked. So just get it now, pre-order it now, get it now. We didn't do a discount for a while, so I have a feeling that it's going to pick up. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Okay. So we will keep an eye out for any questions coming in from you live, and feel free to engage with Olivia about anything she discusses. But over the last year, I'd say Olivia keeps coming back to us saying, like, oh my God, guys, I tried this and it worked. And so we're piling up all these stories now. Also, with Olivia, different from us, she spends a bit more time on social media in the health world. She's always interested in plants and living naturally and herbs. And she comes across a lot of things where she's like, Jillian, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I'm like, I think some of these questions are actually good for the Q&A and for our clients because they're probably seeing the same things too.
Mhm.
So we're just going to cover a broad range of topics, and feel free to jump in wherever you see relevant. And if it's not relevant, if you have a random question that's just about you, please ask it and we'll switch gears.
Yep. So yesterday morning, I woke up and to this chat from Olivia. And by the way, we call her Liv, but I feel awkward calling her Olivia. I just call her Liv. But I saw this text from her. Austin, did you know that the milk thistle, if you use alcohol, it can help to minimize or mitigate the effects of alcohol? And I said, well, we have some very wealthy clients where one of our stores is located. Not going to say which store because these people would tell me they drink a lot of alcohol and they would come in and buy the milk thistle to help to alleviate it. So I said, Liv, yes, I know. I've seen my wealthy clients buying up the milk thistle because they tell me they drink a lot of wine. So there you go. Liv has all these tidbits about NuSpecies and NuSpecies clients. So again, we're happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So where did you get that idea about the milk thistle and alcohol? Because when I saw your chat, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, well, I was thinking it's Friday and we want to like share more of our single bottled herbs,
Okay.
and there's still benefits within herbs that aren't mixed with, created in formulas, which
Right.
also have their great benefits.
Right. Right.
But the milk thistle was like, yeah, we're coming on the weekend. I wonder if we could like make a post just reminding people, like, if you're gonna drink.
They do. Maybe not every single one, but most do.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they're relaxing, coming down from a hard week, and maybe they're prone to headaches the next morning. And well, maybe if you could remember coming home, just take a little shot of your milk thistle,
Mhm.
and it could help with your hangover the next
Okay.
day, or just purely to help your liver process everything that you just drank
Right.
or maybe
Right.
ate. But
Right.
yeah.
I hope my brothers are listening because
I will say
they will
though,
listen. They will listen to you more than listen to me.
a good thing to bring up here is that because a lot of folks will see some of our rebuilding formulas and the price feels prohibitive. But if you are a generally healthy person who's using our rebuilding formulas more like part of your first aid kit, then it's going to last for a really long time. And if you divide out all those months over the cost, it really becomes quite affordable. It's just that initial investment. But if you're using milk thistle in this way, then our really potent liquid organic milk thistle
Right.
extract will be a great part of like your first aid kit.
Right. Exactly. And you said it. It's organic. It's completely natural, and that's part of the reason why NuSpecies works so well for, I would say, everybody. Who takes it. So it's natural, as Joe said. It's organic or wildcraft. Very, very high potent. So the milk thistle. I think all our herbs, all our ingredients are very potent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you bring up your first aid kit, and I would say I have one for myself, which is
Your what?
I have a first aid kit,
Okay.
right? But my herbal first aid kit.
But listen to that. I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
You could have a NuSpecies first aid kit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that.
And one of my formulas that I keep handy is the NuSpecian, and that was an investment for me. But it lasts forever. I even got the 8 ounce, and I still have it. So when I'm feeling a little sick, maybe I take a full shot of it. But
Sick mean a cold or something.
Yeah.
Something is coming. You get hit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like it comes up in your throat,
Yeah.
your head's a little not feeling not right.
Right.
But on a different note, which is a little embarrassing to talk about, but I feel like anybody coming up in age starts realizing your body's changing and new things happen to you. And then you learn maybe why these things are happening to you. And I bring up fungus.
So did you hear what Liv just said? Those of us, those of you who are getting a little older, you start realizing certain things happen. So should we say, Liv, welcome to the real world of aging?
And I would say I'm a generally healthy person. I do have my faults, and I do have celiac disease, and I've had Lyme disease. So, my immune system isn't 100%, but the toenail fungus was a new one for me, and it was scary because I was like, oh no, is this a new error where now I have to cover up my toes with nail polish religiously and hide my feet from the world. I can't wear flip-flops.
Yeah, ladies don't do
Terrible.
that, right?
Yeah, So I ran to Aston. I said, Aston, help me. And he said colloidal silver and NuSpecian. And so I had colloidal silver in my first aid kit, and so I picked up NuSpecian, and I poured a little bit out in my dosage cup, and I just tapped it with my finger and put it on my toe twice a day religiously, and within the week there was already change, and
Wow.
it blew my mind. I'm still amazed at how fast it worked. I thought I was going to have to start relying on medical creams and all these things that weren't going to be natural, because I was reading all the scary things on Reddit where people were looking for help and they weren't finding it through medicated creams, whether it was prescribed or not. And my NuSpecian just worked.
Okay.
And my toe my toe is now just growing out normally, and there's no discoloration. There's
Wow.
actually, it's pretty flat too. It's not wavy.
Mhm.
And granted, I do take NuSpecies multivitamin and multimineral and bee pollen every single night, and I
Mhm.
usually add, and so that, I think that probably helped along.
Mhm.
But the Elnu one specifically, I think, was the thing that saved my toe.
That's
Can
awesome.
you describe the phases you saw it go through?
Yeah, so it was a bright yellow dot, and then it got bigger, bright yellow. And then as soon as I started putting the Elnu one on it, it started turning brown. And then it
Mhm.
stayed brown. And then I'm not sure what happens underneath the nail. I'm not educated in that way, but it looked like maybe the nail kind of separated because the fungus died off.
Mm.
And so now there was just like an empty space.
Wow.
Yeah. And this happened all within the week.
Which is so
Wow.
Mhm.
So you had a spectrum of colors. I
Yeah.
hope Isaac Newton is listening. He invented the spectrum.
Spectrum.
I was thinking about fungus, but we're talking about toenail fungus.
Talking about colors, and but that's awesome though.
Mhm.
So there was a space where it was, and then what
Yeah.
happened after that? Did it
Well,
go away, or it's still there?
no, so the space, as the nail grew out, it just kind of flaked off. And
Mm.
then the nail, it was just kind of nail bed, which doesn't sound appealing. So I hope no one's eating breakfast right now.
But
but
it's a
yeah.
health show,
Yeah, we
so
talk about all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the nail came off.
Ron is asking, I have a question. Did the young lady mix the two together?
The colloidal silver. Yes, I mixed the colloidal silver and the Elnu one, but I ran out of my colloidal silver and was just using the Elnu one, and it still worked extremely quickly.
How long did you keep using it after you were seeing things change?
I was pretty dedicated, so about like a week and a half, just to make sure that it was fully dead and gone. But then I stopped, and the nail did its thing.
Wow.
That's a very short period of time
It was so
to
fast.
see that
You
happen.
probably ended up using less than like a teaspoon of Elnu-1 the whole
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
'Cause
Well,
it spreads
probably.
so well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And the glycerin softened the area too. And I think that the mixture between glycerin and herbs is a really fabulous mixture. One for taste, because I don't want to taste alcohol with my herbs. It's not something that's appealing to me.
Mhm.
But to know that the glycerin is also great for your skin and your nails. So when you're doing it topically, it softens the area, and so yeah. Sorry.
Wow, no, those are great details for everybody who is listening, watching. Over the years, we have had a lot of clients who had psoriasis. They have acne, and a lot of different skin issues, and they were able to use the only one with the colloidal silver. They use it topically, and they also drink it, and they get phenomenal results. There's a lady who used to come to Mount Vernon, had a store there. She had all her fingernails were blackened by fungus, and she said she went all over the world to try to get help with them, because she was an executive, I think, in Wall Street. She was just embarrassed, so she would paint her nails with all different colors to hide what was going on there. And she came in and she used the only one with the colloidal silver for a few months. It took her a few months, but eventually it went away completely. Yeah. So we've had a lot of success stories with boils. People have boils over their bodies. They would put it in the boils, and the boils would burst
Right.
and heal, and the skin would
And
heal up.
hemorrhoids
And hemorrhoids. So
with topical use.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
But
then-
all of the formulas can be used topically
Mhm.
if people want to use them. The only one is one of the least expensive. That's why I recommend that one. But if you have Caveman or Legend or any anti-inflammatory, the New Genesis, you can, all of the formulas can be used topically.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, we're going to give Olivia a little break, and I'm going to go to a question from Lady G. So let's see. I don't know if the whole thing will come up here. Oh, it does. Great. So Lady G asks, "Good morning. My dad just did a CT scan and they found a 3.5 centimeter tumor, in addition to nearby enlarged lymph nodes up to 1.3 centimeters. What would you recommend to start the rebuilding process? They have to do additional testing to see if the tumor is cancerous."
So I'm sorry to hear that about your dad. And, we just been getting a lot of people with cancer. I feel like almost half of our clients are now cancer is just on the rise. And I'm just saying this for all of you, for the benefit of all of you. Be careful, take good care of yourselves, have a good diet, good lifestyle. So Lady G, what I would suggest you get all the lab reports and then meet with me as soon as you can. Even if you don't have the lab reports, you can still have a consultation with me. So whether with you or you and your dad or your family, just try to, let's talk. Even today, if you're available, I'll make some time because you've been family for years and years now. So, and we're going to give you some priority.
Right. And for those of you who may not know yet, whenever you call now, the team's goal is just to get Aston live on the phone immediately and just conference him right into the phone call rather than having set up an appointment and having you wait potentially up to 2 weeks to talk to him. So you can just call whenever you have these kind of questions. And most of the time we'll get right through or have a short wait to speak with Aston. But if Lady G, I don't know if you know the fax number or our email, but I'll put it right in here if you want to send those records over in the meantime. So it's 347-696-7965 and email is support@nuspecies.com. All right. Send that information over. We'll start a chart for your dad, store all the information safely and securely, and then Aston can be informed when he's ready to talk to you. Okay, we have a question from Instagram. I was waiting to see Mary's chatting with folks on Instagram. So if you are listening, if you can clarify this specific weight loss surgery you had, because there are many kinds these days. Let's see what Mary just said. Sleeve surgery. Okay, that's the stomach sleeve, I'm assuming. So Aston, the question is, do you have any recommendations for someone who has just had weight loss surgery? In this case, it's the sleeve they use to reduce the size of the stomach, if I'm correct. Please correct me if I'm not. The concerns I have are about iron deficiency, calcium, and hair loss, among other deficiencies.
Okay, so I am not seeing the question regarding the surgery itself. It's just the deficiency in calcium, hair loss.
Right. Yeah. So I know when folks have the kinds of surgeries where they actually remove portions of your small intestine, you no longer can absorb certain nutrients. This surgery I'm not aware of. I'm assuming Jay, that you were told you are at risk for these deficiencies, and is it because, like, when you're eating regular food, maybe you're not digesting the same versus if you're taking, let's say, NuSpecies formulas, which are essentially pre-digested because they're liquid and they're raw, and so your body will absorb those nutrients probably despite the restricted digestive situation.
Because the sleeve, I think, just keeps you from overeating. So I think that.
Right. I just want them to confirm if they can. Mary, any updates on Instagram?
Or I would also like to know if these issues started after the surgery. That would be good to know.
Yeah, I'm not even sure there is an issue yet. They're just concerned about avoiding these issues.
Okay.
So
I can answer the question on its face.
Okay. She said you can still absorb nutrients. All right. So she's just being extra careful.
Okay. So we have a calcium. If you're worried about calcium deficiency, and if that's a symptom, I don't know, of doing these surgeries, because calcium deficiency is worse than being anemic for iron. It's worse because calcium calcium, it plays a role in rebuilding our bones, our heart, our brain, right? And all those hard tissue we have, like our nails, our hair. And it's one of the deficiencies in foods that no one should want to have. So if you do have a deficiency, you should let us know right away so we can recommend something special for you to ensure that your body is getting adequate calcium. So we do have a calcium. As I said at the top of the show, we have natural calcium, completely natural. And if you're going to use our calcium, then you should use it with vitamin D. Our bodies absorb calcium better with vitamin D. And of course, we do also have a hair loss system or package or protocol. So if you want to get over calcium, yes, we have a calcium that's completely natural with the vitamin D, and then we have our hair loss protocol that you could use as well.
Right.
So we could put the links on for you to get those, and now we have a discount. It's a great time to take advantage. But I also would like to see your labs. I'd like to see your post-surgery labs because if they did remove, part of your digestive system.
No, they didn't.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Right. And I'll just follow up there. And then Olivia has a question as well, which is, in this case, I think you're right to be proactive. And I think everyone needs to be careful about the supplements that they take, because a lot of supplements really do have a lot of fillers and unnatural ingredients. They're hard to digest. And even if you can digest, the nutrients may have just been made in a lab. So the reason we make these products is because we believe everyone should actually have really high quality, effective, safe supplements. Having said that, if you already have some big change happening with your digestive system, and especially if you're eating less food and you don't have built up the good eating habits yet to be sure that the less food you're eating is all highly nourishing, right? Because that can take a while to change your lifestyle habits, especially right after surgery. Taking really high quality supplements that have no burden on your digestion would be ideal for you. So you're in the right place as far as you will have no trouble digesting the nutrients from NuSpecies supplements, and it should be a great complement for what you're dealing with otherwise. Okay, Olivia has a question.
So, when I was on a stricter budget, I was concerned about my iron because I've always been borderline anemic. I got the yellow doc. Now I have yellow doc and mineral complex. I try to get as much natural iron as possible. Is that something, if someone's on a budget, is the yellow doc still beneficial to take, just at least to get started until maybe they work up to calcium and other formulas?
Absolutely. It's our most basic for iron deficiency. Typically what we do is if any of you have like chronic iron deficiency, like your hemoglobin is 10 or below, it means that you're very chronic for iron deficiency, because the hemoglobin is what carries iron, right? So that's why if it's that low, then you're chronic. You will need to rebuild your bone marrow. So in your case, you don't have to do that because you're not chronic, but people who are chronic, they're going to need our bone marrow or our cardiovascular system protocol to rebuild the bone marrow, so the bone marrow can be healthy enough to produce red blood cells. For a lot of people, especially ladies with their cycles, one of the reasons why they stay anemic for many, many years until they get other diseases caused by the anemia is because their bone marrows weren't strong enough to make healthy red blood cells.
So you're saying if your bones are not strong, it's going to affect your iron levels, brain, everything.
The heart, the brain, everything, because the bone is where our bodies store a lot of the, you speak of minerals and all of that and vitamins. The bone is where a lot of it is stored.
So then instead of the yellow doc, you would probably push the calcium if they were going to get anything, because then their bones can stay stronger to push the iron levels.
The cardiovascular protocol
Right.
should have the calcium in there. If it's not in
Right.
there, it should be in there.
Okay.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
And Mary, I don't know if it's in there, but it should be in there. If it's not,
Another great
very,
point.
very good point. Excellent point.
This goes for a lot of our formulas, but what's great about our calcium is that it is coming from a whole food source. It's coming from a marine plant. It's called algae calcareous, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so, although it is an amazing source of plant-based calcium, which is much more bioavailable for the human body than other sources of calcium, you are also getting all the minerals that come along with this plant. So, yes, we are selling it to you as calcium, but we can't stop the plant from giving you everything else it has to offer. So, even if you are only just taking our calcium, you are still getting up to 70 very important minerals as well.
Right. And that plant, it has a vast, just so you all know, and this shouldn't surprise you, NuSpecians, but a plant, let's say any of our herb, you could pick the alfalfa, any of our herb, you could pick the any herb. Each plant has thousands of minerals that are not yet named by signs. Thousands of minerals or vitamins not named by signs. No name for them, just as how there are, billions of particles in the air, right, that we're breathing in right now that are not named. Scientists have no name for them. That's how complex our bodies are. So that was one of the foundational reasons why NuSpecies products have to be completely natural, because sometimes we don't even know what the body needs to fix itself. You think we know everything that the body needs to fix itself? We don't know. Only God knows that. But what we do know is that we all come from nature. So nature is in us. And if we want to heal our bodies, we have to live in accordance with the laws of nature. And that's what NuSpecies says. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to quickly say, Trevor's asking, Aston, I did text you my friend's number that has prostate cancer. Did you get it?
Yes. And Trevor, I called him and I didn't get him. So you can give him my number because I know you have it, and ask him to call me. And he can call me today up to 5 p.m. And he too, I'll give priority because, and I've been saying priority. I've gotten to a point where our clients, our existing clients, I don't like to call them old clients because some of them are very young, but our clients that we've had for years, I've started giving you all priority because you've been there for us and with us, and I think you deserve that. I think you earn it. So Trevor, your friend, you can give him my direct number and ask him to call me today before 5 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just say hi to some folks who have joined since we started. Hi to Ron. We spoke to Lady G. Hi, Daisy. Trevor. Hi, Shaharzad. Good to see you here. It's been a while. And hi, May. Thank you all for being here again. Feel free to put your questions in. If you're showing up later in the show, this is Olivia Poligio. This is my sister. Olivia has worked for NuSpecies on and off since literally the beginning, when we were working out of our house and we had like 4 separate phones strewn across our entire home and we could not answer the phones fast enough. And poor Olivia was like 17. I don't know, you were really young. And she was like, I'm like, just help, just answer the phone. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. So she goes way back.
It gets better than that. When she said she doesn't know what she was doing, she was actually talking to a client.
I'm sorry about that.
It's terrible one.
It's
It
one of
was
the
so
most
cute.
memorable moments we
Oh
have
my
had at
gosh.
NuSpecies.
I'll never forget, like, she was facing the window, so I was just looking at the back of her head, and all of a sudden I just hear her like so matter-of-factly and so calmly tell our client, I don't know what I'm doing. We also were so maddened at that time that I think I answered the phone once and said, hello, this is Body Systems Life. I said I was the product instead of myself. Those beginnings were very difficult times. But Olivia has worked for us as well on and off during all that time, but she's also always used the products, and she's always bringing up these great points that we think are good for you to share. So we invited her to come on the show today to talk to us about a bunch of different things, because luckily now, many years later, she does know what she's doing. Okay, May. Thank you, May. May says, I just want to say I was anemic for as long as I could remember. Aston gave me the Yellow Doc formula, and I'm free from anemia after a month on the formula.
Yeah.
Woo!
Wonderful.
Oh my
Wonderful.
gosh. I wish I could send like hearts and bing, bing, bing. I can't do any of that stuff on the screen, but thank you,
And-
May. Wow.
Well, good for you, May. And just speaking again for everyone, anemia is a very, excuse me, very serious issue for anyone to have. And I think you all know, but I'm still going to say it. If your hemoglobin is low or you're anemic, the hemoglobin carry iron, and the iron carry oxygen. See that? And oxygen is the number one food for life. So anyone who's anemic, even if they're slightly anemic, your body is in a weakened state. The immune system is in a weakened state. Your heart, your brain are in a weakened state, and the body can lunge into any disease. And especially if you're ladies who have hormonal issues causing that excess estrogen can lead to a lot of tumors, can lead to cysts, ovarian cysts, dense breasts, all fibroids, endometriosis. That's what you have waiting for you, ladies, if you stay anemic for too long. And of course, you get the menopause, you're no longer anemic, and you're going to have a terrible, terrifying menopause. You're going to have the hot flashes that will go on for probably for years. You're just going to suffer. So if you have anemia, now is the time to fix your body before you get to that stage, okay? Where your body just make a complete change, almost a complete change hormonally. All right?
All right. So Fitzgerald has a question.
Yep.
Fitzgerald, I'm just gonna we're gonna go back to Olivia for one more topic, and then we'll come back to your question. And Aston, if you want to pregame, you can read his question quickly. In
Okay.
the chat. All right. What do you got for us?
Yeah. I wanted to briefly go back to the anemia because it's escaping me now. Maybe I should put that to the side for a second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as success story goes, I coming into my older age.
He's a lot older than
We-
she is.
We need to create an era for that. We need to create some kind of a spectrum, maybe not light, but another spectrum of aging for Liv.
Oh, okay. So it occurred to me when back to my toe fungus is that potentially my hemoglobin is slowing down and it's not getting all the oxygen to my extremities, so your fingertips, your toes.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it could cause yellowing toenails or thickening toenails or fungus to form because your nails aren't getting the nutrients. And if they're not getting nutrients, it's because your blood's not bringing it there. Right? Am I correct me if I'm wrong?
You are completely correct, and it's worse than that.
Oh, goodness.
So anyone who is anemic, because you're anemic, you have low iron, therefore low oxygen. Anywhere in the body where there is low oxygenation, you all should Google it now, even though Google is not always right. But you can Google the prominent medical organizations in the United States. Any organ, any part of the body that doesn't have adequate oxygen, that's where viruses, bacteria, and I mean the bad ones,
right.
that's where they're going to live. Because the good virus and the good bacteria, they don't mind oxygen so much. That's why they live in our gut.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mind oxygen that much. But if you're anemic and you don't have adequate oxygen in certain tissues, in certain organs, that's where viruses, bacteria, parasites, worm, Fitzgerald, all those creatures, microbes, that's where they're going to live. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of ladies who get breast cancer from dense breast, because those tissues are dense, they're calcified, they don't get very good blood circulation. That's why a lot of ladies who have ovarian cysts turn into ovarian cancer eventually, or endometrial cancer if it's in the walls of the uterus, etc., etc. And that applies to everybody, not just the ladies. And that is how bad anemia really is.
Well, yeah, and to add to that, as you were speaking, I was thinking of how when I was in my 20s and I was a technician, I was very physically active. Even before that, I had symptoms of just falling asleep on the dot in
Hmm.
traffic,
Hmm.
head nodding, in classrooms, falling asleep on my desk. And my doctor
And
always
worse
said,
than that, you have a little fender bender as well.
yes, well, going
You
back
don't
to
have to go into that.
college,
You don't have to
yeah,
tell
I
everybody
crashed my car.
that. Maybe that's
Um,
our secret.
I did. I fell asleep.
Okay, there you go.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Anemia will do that.
yeah, and it's a
Lack of oxygen,
symptom.
lack of oxygen in the body will do it.
Yeah.
For anyone. And all of you out there who have had some level of anemia, you have had tiredness, weakness, and then the way you were working back then, if I recall correctly, you were working very long hours and sometimes driving long distances.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
it was dangerous. I would say that I probably could have been eating better. I didn't know that I was leading up to celiac disease. I only been diagnosed maybe 3 or 4 years now, but that doesn't help. With further information I gathered on celiac disease is that people with this have a hard time absorbing iron.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why I take my mineral complex, I take yellow dock. I just try to eat a lot of dark greens
Mm-hmm.
and just try to get as much natural iron as possible.
Vegetables. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I also suffer from cysts.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to get them. I had to get one surgically removed, and now I fight very hard to avoid surgery by taking lots of Queen Nanny. And then when I can't get the Queen Nanny, I just stay on top of my women's formula, and then
It's the same formula. It's just the Queen Anne is stronger, but the
right.
women's formula is the same ingredients.
Well, when I'm feeling stronger symptoms,
Okay, got you.
I take my Queen Nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I think you just spoke to a lot of ladies out there who probably have had issues like those and are having issues like those. And then your mothers and grandmothers, you should talk to your daughters and find out what's going on with them. Are they anemic? They're for a lot of ladies, anemia starts showing its face in the teens, and that's when you want to know and catch it and fix it. Because when these girls, they become 25, 30, that's when they start getting the dense breasts, they start getting the fibroids, they start getting the endometriosis, the ovarian cysts. And any of those parts of the organs can turn to cancer, as you all know. Ladies have more of these cancers than any other, well, men, only men have less.
And it's interesting too, because I know this is like, I'm probably, maybe women think about this kind of stuff more, but for me and my sister, like we share the same DNA, and yet we are very, very different. Like if I were to look at my sister and then look at someone who looked like me, I'd be like, oh, she must be healthier. And I'm not saying that I'm necessarily healthier, but you've had a lot more health challenges in your shorter life than mine than I have, and I thought I would be the one just because my eating habits and stuff are
okay. We're getting
not great.
personal now, folks. Tune in.
Right, but it just goes to show like how your genetics will play a role in what you're more susceptible to, and we'll all have our own struggles with our health throughout our lives, and it will continue to evolve and change, as Olivia said, as we get older. And so with NuSpecies, a lot of folks, when you hear our testimonials, you'll hear people say like, I had this and now it's gone. And we can often maybe be talking too much about like things going away and being like, people could get the impression that using NuSpecies is about being perfectly healthy, when
No.
I always say in the intro that we educate and we use our formulas to help us all be as resilient as possible against whatever challenges will come our way, because we all have our own thing, right? So my thing might be overeating or not eating enough, or not eating too much food that is not being properly, as Aston would say, digested and used by my body. And I'm storing more of that energy That's a nice word for fat. It's just say energy. I have a lot of stored energy.
Well, that's the correct term
Yeah.
for it.
And then, for Olivia, where that's not her issue, there's other genetic tendencies she's dealing with.
Mhm.
And so being sisters, we're always like fascinated by each other's challenges. So it's just to encourage everyone that there's no such thing as any sort of perfect health you're ever going to get to. It's
Nope.
really just about a consistent support of your body to be as strong as it can be. And that's what we think NuSpecies is well suited for, whatever your health goals might be.
Right. Last Saturday, I consulted with a gentleman. His whole family came from Queens to our HQ where we are now, and he's 45 years old and he lives in the gym, and he eats really, really well, really, really well, as attested to by his father, his mother, and his uncle, who were present at the consultation he had with me. And they thought he was the model of health for the whole family. And he came in with his lab reports, and he had colorectal cancer, and he didn't know. And the colorectal cancer spread to his lung, to his liver, to his bone. And what should underscore it for all of you, for all of us, is that when I look at his blood test reports, his white blood cells, 16 or 18 of them, all his white blood cells and the lab report were perfect. Every single white blood cell was perfect, meaning that his doctor would tell him that you have a perfect immune system. And there it is. He has stage 4 cancer in many organs. And he thought he was healthy. And he was diagnosed back in June, and he was still in shock. He said he still can't believe that he has this disease, because that's why he exercised so much. That's why he ate so well. So there's no such thing as perfection unless you know what you're doing. Perfection means you're eating well, a good diet. And when I say a good diet, it's a diversity of foods, of raw foods, plants, and other whole foods that have calcium, like yams and potatoes. So you have to do a wide variety of that. And then you have to drink a lot of water. You have to support all your genes and your DNA. You have to support your whole body. And as I said at the top of the show, that's why we make our formulas natural, completely natural, so you can get the widest diversity of support for your body. And you heard Olivia just now talking about she's taken our lowest potency formula, and within a week or two, she saw such great results. And I would love to sit here and tell you that I know exactly what was in LNU1 that helped her fungal toes. I don't know. What I know is that what's in LNU1 is a combination of all the ingredients to rebuild the whole body, rebuild the genes, the DNA, the immune system, the organs. That's why it's called body system. That's why we call it body system. It's supporting all the organs in the body. And that's the way our bodies work. That's the way nature and the universe works.
And we do officially have the new design of the label that will officially change over the darn name of this product, because we've been talking about it for way too long. And so
Jillian is not crazy about caveman and legend.
no, I love it.
And
It's just
LNU
hard
nine.
when you're working with a client who's looking at all of them next to each other and goes, well, what's that one? Okay, but so what's that one? Well, what's that one? Well, they're all the same, but why do they have different names? Well, because it's too much. Like they all have to have the same name, different potencies. So part of our evolution. But anyway,
I love the change.
the new label is
I love the new
finally almost
yes.
ready. Once we print it, there'll be a slow transition before you actually see it on bottles that make it to the store.
Mhm.
But very, very exciting. Yeah, we could show it, Mary. I'll keep talking until you get it up. But Aston, we're going to gear up for Fitzgerald's question, and this will be the last question we can take for today.
Okay.
And if Olivia has any last comments, she's welcome to get them in before we end. So Fitzgerald says, good morning. Do you know anything about worm causing prostate cancer? I keep seeing people saying this on YouTube. And here's the updated design, folks. So as you can see, the new name of the L-Nu formula, which is the original name that it always had, was
I'm
Body
not seeing it.
Systems. Are you looking at our show on
Oh
your
no,
screen?
no, I wasn't.
Since never looking
I
at the
was
show.
I was looking at YouTube. I was looking at YouTube.
Okay.
Wait, shouldn't it be over there too?
Um,
Oh, it's a
it
delay.
would probably be delayed.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
gotcha. Okay.
All
Here-
right.
Here
So
it is.
you'll see in the corner, it's going to remind you that it was previously L-Nu 1, and now it'll be Body Systems Formula 1, and then L-Nu 9 will be Body Systems Formula 9, and L-Nu 25 will be Body Systems Formula 25. And this will be the design, and it'll remind you up in the corner what it was previously called. And of course, our team will know as well, and we'll probably put a flyer in your box if we're shipping to you. So thank you for sharing that, Mary. All
Mhm.
right, so let's talk to Fitzgerald.
So that's a great question. The answer is absolutely yes. Worms can cause any cancer, but this is how it would work, how it would typically happen. So viruses, bacteria, or germs in general, and it could include these. They call them pinworms, or they're very tiny. Some of these worms you can't even see with your naked eye. Just so you all know. So what would happen is that in the cell, just think of one cell, and the cell is tiny. It's very, very tiny. It's a microscopic. It's very small. So you would have a virus or a bacteria or one of these pinworms or any creature that is that small that gets into the cell. It would defecate. So the defecation of viruses, bacteria, microbes, parasites, all of those creatures, their defecation are actually filled with microbes, even smaller creatures than they are. But these microbes are very powerful. They can bore into the genome and damage the DNA and cause the DNA to mutate, and then the mutation, if it's not fixed, it can become malignancy. That is what cancer is when we have a DNA that is damaged and it's sick and it's replicating, multiplying into new cells, into new cell in the cell, new cells. The cells now, because they're sick and we have those genes that can control them, the cells start to multiply rapidly. And that's what cancer is. So whether it's in the prostate or anywhere else in the body, that's how cancer is formed. So cancer can be formed from anything: chemicals, compounds, viruses, bacteria, parasites, worms, anything in our bodies that change the environment, the balance, the pH level. Anything that change that chemical biological balance can cause cancer. Anything at all. That's how cancer is formed, and that's how all diseases are formed. All diseases. I think in the United States, we're up to about 4,000, about 4,000, 3,000 plus diseases that are named in the United States, and that's how every single one is formed, provided that you weren't born with it, like type 1 diabetes or sickle cell, and there are a number of other diseases that we humans typically are born with.
But Aston,
Yeah.
where do these worms come from?
Food,
Oh.
water, the air.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Even so, there are certain viruses and bacteria or parasites that can survive in, you cook the foods,
Mm.
and they can still survive.
I recently heard that on the internet with a specific vegetable. I'm forgetting what it is now, but the announcement was that a certain product had to be recalled or thrown out because there was a worm on it that was not being killed with
Chemicals, pesticides,
heat. Yeah.
heat. Yeah.
So then, if
Mhm.
worms are all around us
Mhm.
and
Everywhere.
they come in and through our bodies, how would you say we keep them at bay from hurting us and turning our cells into cancer?
So that's what?
Those bowels moving.
That's a great question, and I can tell that you work at NuSpecies for years. Only you could ask a question like that. So one of the things that Mary and I and Julian have been doing over the last several months we have been rewriting our new species protocols, meaning the packages that that our clients will take are taken for different issues. And what we have been focusing on, especially for what we call the ideal protocol, we have been focusing on having a new species formula that can rebuild the genes, rebuild the DNA, rebuild the immune system, rebuild all the organs, while at the same time, they're purifying the body, purifying the blood.
Okay. And what do you mean by purifying the blood?
So all the impurities in our bodies, let's say someone is constipated or they have a urine retention, a lot of those biochemicals are going to seep back into the blood through the bladder or the intestines. We have these cells that are called, and you all can Google it, epithelial. It's the lining, the covering, protection in our intestines or colon or bladder. All our organs have epithelial tissues. So they get breached by these chemicals and they open holes. And that's why people see blood in their urine, blood in their fecal matter. And that's how these viruses or bacteria or parasites or worms will seep into the bloodstream. And once they're in the bloodstream, they can go anywhere in the body. So our formulas are designed to help to purify. You could say detox, but purify is a better word, because detox typically referred to the digestive tract.
Right.
So this is more than just detoxing. It's purifying the body. The LNU1 does that. So all the LNU formulas do that. The New Genesis does that. The anti-inflammatory to some extent will do that. The God formulas will do that. So we have these ideal where we're saying to our clients, if you're able to do the ideal, we believe, based on doing this for over 20 years, doing NuSpecies for over 20 years, and I invent the formulas, you'll be supporting all your organs and all your body system, and you're cleaning the blood. So that's the answer to your question. How do you do that? But in addition to that, you should have a good diet, good lifestyle, and drink lots of water. Lots of water mean at least half your body weight in ounces of water. If you weigh 100 pounds, try to get in at least 50 ounces of water daily. I would say anyone who is doing all of those things have the best potential to live better and live longer.
Right. Because you're basically empowering your body to do what it already is designed to do, which is to get these worms out.
Right.
To identify them and push them out, not
Right.
let them hide or create a lot of damage along the way. When our bodies are really burdened by all the junk that we eat, and lack of movement and stress and lack of sleep and not drinking enough water, we're just creating an environment that is a wonderful host for these sorts of invaders.
Right.
So as everything you just listed is part of helping your body be as resilient as possible against some of these things we just can't avoid.
They can't be avoided. So Fitzgerald, to your question, I don't know where you are in North Fitzgerald, probably home or probably in Bronxville. I don't know where you are, but I know you have a lot of clients. But imagine this now for all of you. The minute even in your own home, you could have worms because of the stuff you bring into your home, your clothes, your shoes, the foods you buy, the bags. You don't know where they come from. But Fitzgerald, imagine you just walk out your door and you go to your car and you drive to the supermarket and you touch the door, you open the door, you go to the shelves, you touch all these things. All these places, it is impossible for them not to have some level of pollution. Impossible.
All right. So we've got a couple of those of you who don't know, if you download our app, you can actually submit questions through our app. And so we just got one. I love this. Is a great criticism and we know and we're fixing it. But Elliot says, greetings. This is not a medical question. My problem is that when I try to purchase products on your website, it's like pulling a tooth. I think you've said
I
something
agree
like that
with you.
before.
I'm with you, Elliot.
You cannot search for what you want without calling in, even if you know what you want. Can you make your website more user friendly? So truthfully, you actually can search, and I actually often will search if I forgot where I categorized a product on our site. So maybe you're just missing the little search bar. If you're on your phone and you click the little menu, it'll pop out and there's a search option there, and I usually have no problem finding. Maybe you're spelling the product name wrong or something, but we hate our website, and we are actively, me, Olivia, and Mary are actively building an updated theme for our site right now, and we're hoping to launch it in the next month or two. And it's going to be so much better. We actually just are running our site on a very outdated set of code, and we're just updating that now. So we agree with you, and thank you for complaining. And then we just got one more.
I want to say to Elliot, Elliot, I am totally with you, and I really pull rank at NuSpecies. You would think I am at the lowest level at NuSpecies if you all don't know that. I really pull a rank, but I'm going to pull a rank now.
Oh.
So Elliot, we're in the process of doing better with our website, doing some fixing. I would like to ask the team to invite you when the site is up and running, the new one,
to test it
for us. Okay, Elliot?
Good question.
And you're going to represent all our client communities in helping to, and maybe, some of you can also volunteer.
Right. And also, Carl is also chatting through the app saying, why can't I shop online anymore? So I'm wondering if maybe, are you trying to shop on the app? Because the app is not, we do have a product catalog there just to show our products, and that is also outdated. I'm sorry, but that you can't shop there. You have to go to NuSpecies.com on the browser on your phone. So I don't know why you can't shop online, Carl, but I'm going to send your information to our team and have them email or call you today to find out. I'm saying it right now. Please reach out to Carl, and I'm copying and pasting your information because hopefully our site is up. You should be able to shop. If anyone else is having trouble, just always email support@nuspecies.com or text us. We'll certainly take care of it right away. Obviously, especially during a discount, that's the last thing we want is for you to not be able to shop online.
So Elliot and Carl, there are tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands of people going to our website on a yearly basis. And that's another reason why you can know. And I'm sure that most of them are not happy. And that's why we're going to fix that website once and for all. The truth is, and Jill didn't say, but the truth is, we have never really focused on our website, but we're going to do it now.
Right. And hopefully you'll find that good news, because truthfully, like, we're spending all of our time on the phones with you and in emails and reviewing labs and focusing on this Q&A and doing a lot of what we hope to be very valuable, potent work, but that is very one-to-one. And a lot of the stuff that we do, which is one-to-many, like our marketing, including our website, just have taken a backseat. But that has been our goal for this year, and it has been if you've noticed, Olivia's been taking lots of new pictures of our products. We've been updating all the labels with a new design, and now we're getting new pictures of them. We're making more videos. We're going to be posting more. So hopefully you are seeing some of those improvements, and these ones are next in line. Andrea is just saying that she's struggling because she keeps spilling her formulas when she goes to dispense them. And Andrea, you said... No, misplaced the cups. Okay. Yeah. So when you said spoon, Andrea, I was like, you're going Mary Poppins style here. So no spoons with NuSpecies, because they're not actually a true measurement of a tablespoon or even a teaspoon. So you always have to use a measuring cup. I know you said you misplaced it, but you could go right to a pharmacy or a dollar store or come back to one of our stores and grab more. And if you need, if we ship to you, we could always just ship you a whole bunch of extra ones. We ship to you. Okay. Mary said we ship to you. So in your next order, we can give you a whole bunch of extra measuring cups, but you can also get them anywhere. So please don't use a spoon. Yes, you're spilling it, which is, I'm sure you're probably licking the counter after that.
You better be.
None of us, we're always like, we don't want to lose any bit of that. It is expensive.
NuSpecies is gold.
But also, it's not the right dose. So please go get yourself a measuring cup, and then we'll take care of you on your next order as well. All right, Olivia, do you have any last words before we end the show for today?
Yes.
Okay.
For your first aid kit, I also recommend vitamin E. If you cut yourselves, I know I injure my fingers quite often, but I also burned myself with a curling iron not too long ago, and the vitamin E helped a lot with the burn. and healing, and that went away very quickly. And I maybe had a little pink scar, but now I don't really even see it anymore.
Mhm.
But also drink a lot of water. Like Aston said, drink more than what you think you need. And when you start feeling anything that feels out of sorts, don't jump to headache medication right away. Just chug a bunch of water. In my experience, lukewarm water, I know that's not everybody's appeal, like cold water. But lukewarm water gets down
It's
into your
better. It's better.
belly, yeah,
Yeah.
belly faster.
Mhm.
You can drink it faster, and your
The
body
cold
doesn't
water
get the
can jolt the stomach and the
right,
immune and the digestive system.
right. So, yeah, that's my parting words. It
Awesome.
was lovely being here, and I hope we can do it again.
You actually spent a whole hour here. No one has ever done that, which
And-
means you have a lot to say.
I enjoyed
Thank you.
And we're right here in Polling. So if any of you want to take a trip and have some coffee and a little, we'll provide some little light refreshments, and you can come sit with us just like Olivia did and talk with us on the show and help facilitate questions. It'd be amazing because a lot of you have been with us so long, you know NuSpecies is maybe as well as we do, and we would love to have your voice in our show. You can also join virtually. You've seen us pull people in before, so it's up to you, but we invite you to reach out if you'd like to join us here on the show.
I totally agree. Come
Yeah.
hang out with us.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially you who've been with NuSpecies for years. Come hang out with us and tell us your story because we know you all have stories. You tell me one-on-one, but you should come and just, tell it to everybody.
Yeah.
Great stories you have.
Yeah, we love it. And when you put your testimonials in the chat, I do take screenshots. I cover your name and your face just because I didn't explicitly ask for your permission to share it, but then I do share it. If you don't want me to do that, this is a public chat, so I figure it's implicitly like okay, but I still blank out your name. But
That's
if you
good.
would like us to have a public testimonial, and again, it doesn't have to be some big deep dive into your private intimate details, or even it doesn't even have to be this amazing cure story. It could just be that you think our products are great. You think we're great, right? And that you trust NuSpecies or you've been working with us for a long time. Statements like that are really helpful to others who are looking for solutions, and it's more convincing coming from you than us. So you can review us on Google, you can comment on our YouTube videos, you can email or text us a statement and give us a picture and allow us to use it. You can email or text us a video.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it through the app, wherever you want, whatever you're comfortable with, or you can come right on the show. So having said that,
Mm-hmm. We have a lot coming for you all. We have some family packages, very affordable, very low price but potent, and we know a lot of you want to buy for family members here and around the world, and we are coming up with some packages maybe in another couple weeks for all of you to be able to help your family or family members to live better and longer as well. Very affordable packages, so look out for that in the email and the text, and when you go to our stores you can just ask about them as well.
And one of the cool features coming on our new site is going to be customizable bundles. So we'll put up like a base package that we believe helps with a certain set of health goals. And then you can either upgrade or downgrade those options. You can add in other options or you can remove things. So let's say you have a common package you buy all the time, but you still have some detox powder left. You can just remove it from the bundle and then just place the order for the whole bundle. So lots of very convenient shopping features coming up very soon.
Excellent.
If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do that before you leave today. It's really, really helps us. It helps others find us. It helps us look online as legitimate as we are in real life. So we do appreciate your follows, your subscribes, your likes, your comments. It's all part of serving our community. So we would love it if you could do that. And then on the homepage of our website, you can sign up for our email list, our text list, and our rewards program. And then if you prefer app notifications instead of text, you can just download the NuSpecies app and allow notifications from us.
Yep. So we are over by 15 minutes. I think it was worth it.
Yes.
And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And please come again. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.